get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream, Thursday, June 4th. S&P futures down 24, NASDAQ down 335. The Russell is up 5, and the Dow is up 430. NASDAQ down over a full percent. Dow is up almost a full percent. Gold is up 1.5%. Silver about the same. Notes and bonds a little bit green. 10-year yield down 0.62. Oil down 3%, natural gas up 3%, soybeans, wheat, and corn all mixed. Euro and the pound are both up about 1/4 to 1/3 of 1%, and Bitcoin falling again, down 3.4%, back down in the 63,000 handle. VIX up 1.74%, currently 16.34 at the freeze. Biggest movers this morning pre-market on my stock watch list. United Healthcare is up 3%. ServiceNow is up 2.5%. Costco's up 2%. Walmart, McDonald's are green. Kind of your consumer staple type companies. Netflix is green. Apple's a little bit green. On the red side, AVGO missed on earnings. It's down 14%. CrowdStrike also had earnings down 9%. So dragging a lot of the chips down. ARM is down, MU's down, SMCI, SNDK, AMD. All the big chips are down. Nvidia's only down 0.5%. Tesla's down 1%. We do have Treasury Secretary Bessent speaking 30 minutes after the market opens, due to testify on the Treasury's priorities before the House Ways and Means Committee. Labeled as orange folder. Not sure that will do much. And then Trump speaks at an hour before the market closes about coal. Speak about the U.S. coal industry at the White House. So as far as kind of my little pre-market outlook here, we've got the S&P. Had the little sell-off after the bell with the AVGO and CrowdStrike earnings, and then it's just been kind of chopping in this range. I would really want to see the S&P kind of, if I'm looking at SPY, 753, kind of break out to the upside there for longs, and then break down below 750 to get serious about shorts. This kind of pre-market range is just kind of a big, wide, choppy range, so I'll still trade and definitely look for relative strength and weakness in stocks, but we'll see. We'll see what if the S&P picks a direction here. There's the bell. Looks like an expected range in SPX today of a little over 33. I will be doing I'll let my 1 DTE iron Condor fire. And I'll just watch price action for a bit before I do any double calendars. Looking at the 7-8 as the June 11-12 is probably my first one. Do have PPI on those shorts. CPI the day before. The 13-14 would be June 17-18. That's FOMC on the front. All right, one DTE just fired. S&P and NASDAQ had a little dip to open, pushing back up. Russell still dipping. You guys hear me okay? Hondo hears me. Moel hears me. E. Allison on top of the mountain. All right, sounds like it might be a personal issue. S&P getting up close to that pre-market high level. Russell flushed yesterday's low, getting back up to unchanged. Bitcoin a little bit of a bounce. Tesla had a little dip. It's got a big bounce going. Meta big bounce. Google big bounce. Tesla pushing up to pre-market and overnight highs. Nvidia trying to go green. Microsoft acting a little weaker now. Chips are still acting weak. SMCI is kind of bouncing, but still down. Snowflake's bouncing. AMD, MU continuing weakness. Coin and MSTR are a little bit green, even though Bitcoin's down. Hood also right near unchanged. S&P still climbing. S&P starting to break out of that pre-market area. Big banks are strong this morning. Crypto's starting to bounce. Nvidia pushing, going green. Nvidia up to its overnight highs. Google holding near highs, Meta holding near highs, Tesla rejecting that overnight high a little bit. Same with Nvidia. S&DK is kind of pumping. Still red from the gap down, but moving from the open. So S&P kind of rejecting just below previous day low and that pre-market high. AMD through lows, MU still weak. Google's now rolling over. Tesla staying strong. Dipping a little bit, I guess. Nvidia dipping a little bit. Apple starting to bounce. NASDAQ rejecting a little bit. Tesla trying to stay green. Google's dip getting bought up a little bit. AVGO still staying weak, down 15.5%. SMH about to go through lows. Big rejection in Nvidia. Tesla in the red. Meta pulled back as well, but it's holding up fairly well, it looks like.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Netflix is trying to push above previous day high. Nvidia coming down hard. Tesla coming down hard. So NASDAQ acting the weakest with the weakness in chips. I marked this 736 level on the Qs, which is the low of Monday. I'm going to load up some 0 DTE Q puts. Qs, I would do the 731s, 731 puts. Not sure I'll get an entry in the Qs. It's still falling. Meta and Google, little pullback, but holding up fairly well. Nvidia through lows. Big chip stocks weak. Tesla trying to hold that pre-market high. IWM still bouncing. S&P, NASDAQ, a little bit of a bounce. Still watching Qs, see if I can get an entry for some puts here, potentially. Also got MU. You could use that pre-market low level in MU. All right, decent little bounce here in the indices. Let's see if Qs react here. I'm going to take Qs at filled at 101 and 102. I've got a little room to add here. Kind of push back up to that 736-ish level that I marked. MU, AMD, little bounce. All the chips, SNDK, AVGO, a little bit. Meta starting to bounce a little bit. Tesla came down to that same level where it bounced before, trying to bounce again. Nvidia still coming down. Microsoft still coming down. Google trying to get back up to highs. Apple still bouncing. Qs starting to drift lower. Try to take some off at 122 if it dips a little bit more. S&P just super choppy. Tried to break out of that pre-market range. Kind of got rejected back down into the slop. Need a little bit more down in Qs to hit my first profit target. Google about to go through highs.
Order cancelled. Order filled.
Google, nice little retest of pre-market highs and then bounce. Oh, NASDAQ bouncing back up a little bit. Didn't quite get down to my level, to my profit target. Meta still trying to bounce. Russell heading towards pre-market highs. S&P, pretty aggressive bounce back up to that pre-market high. All right, NASDAQ's kind of getting aggressive. Little buyers stepping in here. So I'm going to be getting my order ready to cut if it doesn't reject. Meta almost back up to highs. Google ticked a new high. Looks like SPY ticked a new high. NASDAQ definitely acting the weakest with the chips being weak. I would have potentially added back in here if I would have hit my first profit target in Qs, but it didn't quite hit it, so I'm just holding. S&P having problems getting through pre-market highs. IWM a little rejection as well. I'm going to move my Q profit target to 116. See if it can come and get me out of some here. Tesla staying red. Google still pushing. Meta still strong. AMD and MU's little bounce back down to lows. SMCI rolling back over. ARM through lows. Again, NASDAQ close to my profit target, no fill. SMH near lows. NASDAQ just kind of chopping. It's holding under my level, but still no profit target hit yet. Meta about to go through highs. Google still pushing through highs. Tesla still keeps kind of bouncing off that 422 area. Did anybody take Google calls off that pre-market high? Or Meta on the first pullback? Meta didn't really have a level to manage risk around. But Jonathan W's in a goog swing. Watson got some shares. General Zod no goog but took Meta. Nice. All right, S&P trying for the fourth time to break above that pre-market high. New high in SPY. MU, AMD, AVGO, ARM all staying, big chips staying weak. What's NVIDIA doing? Yeah, NVIDIA staying weak as well. All right, I'm going to have to consider cutting NASDAQ here again if it doesn't reject. If we reject again, I'm going to add to my Qs. If not, I'm going to cut here. S&P pushing above previous day low now. Microsoft big bounce. Amazon through highs. But big chips say no. All right, I'm going to add to Qs. Added fill was at 94 cents. No likey that fill. Tesla back in the red. New lows in AMD, new lows in MU. Intel rolling over. My first profit target is still at $1.15 in the Qs. Russell going through highs. MSTR back up through highs. Bitcoin's still bouncing. Need a little Q flush through lows. Meanwhile, Russell's pushing. Google paused at previous day high. Netflix never could hold above previous day high. Big banks are still pushing. Financials kind of driving some strength here. All up about 2.5%. And crypto's bouncing. So we got financials strong. Some big tech strong. Chips weak. Q's. Let's see if you can do it. Let's see if you can gimme it. Little flush through lows is all we need. Yeah, chips are still driving. Microsoft, big bounce. Yeah, if the chips start to bounce, this market's going to go, but I think we're heading lower. S&P kind of rejecting again. Russell, a little rejection again at pre-market high. NASDAQ still definitely staying the weakest. AMD and MU still going through lows. Circle's up 4%. MSTR's up 3%. Hood is up almost 2%. NASDAQ getting close to my profit target. Getting close, closer, warmer. Finally, filled. All right, now let's see what kind of momentum we can get. I'll be back in 1 minute. All right, NASDAQ still moving. Take some more off at $1.50. NASDAQ pushing through pre-market lows. I'm actually going to take some off right here. Filled at $1.42. Chips driving. Chips are driving the NASDAQ ship. S&P rejected back into that pre-market chop. Russell, nice rejection back into the pre-market level. And NASDAQ breaking down through the lows. I'll put another profit target at $1.80. Getting a little bounce here. Cryptos and banks still pumping. Google rejected previous day high. Meta a little pullback. Nvidia's below.
Order cancelled.
Nvidia's right at
Order
pre-market lows.
partially filled. Order filled.
Could use that level as an
Order
entry if you're
cancelled.
wanting to get short some chips. Nasdaq's little bounce getting pushed back down. I'm going to move my profit target to $1.65 in the Qs. See if I can get out of some more. Starting to bounce a little bit. Kind of bouncing around that pre-market level. AMD, MU. Still putting in new lows. Meta's staying relatively strong still. Microsoft trying to break through pre-market highs. Bitcoin's still bouncing, down 1.5%, but bouncing since the open. I'd like to see SPY get down to the previous lows of day. That would most likely extend the Qs lower. Russell's trying to get back up. ARM is down 10.5%. AMD down 7.5%. MU down almost 10%. Chips not having a day. PLTR, big rejection. Tezzy trying to bounce again. Nvidia coming back up, trying to reclaim back above pre-market lows. Pretty decent bounce in the Qs here. Was hoping to get out of some more, but it missed. I missed it by a little. S&P trying to get back above pre-market high again. Russell going through highs. All right, I got to figure out how much room I want to give the Qs here. Not much more. I don't want to give too much back. MU and AMD starting to bounce. S&P almost through highs. All right, I'm going to consider cutting here if we don't reject. This is where I need the cues to reject again if I'm going to stay in. I already gave more back than I really wanted to. Tesla back in the green. I'm going to add some back in Qs. Filled at 92 cents. And if we push back up, I'll just cut. Man, I'm getting some bad fills this morning. Or my timing's just, it's just moving right as I'm clicking. S&P rejecting previous day low again. AMD and MU still bouncing. NVIDIA still bouncing. Tesla getting close to highs of day. Google trying to get back up above previous day high. Amazon rolling over. All right, I'm gonna have to cut Qs here. Got my order ready. It's right at that level. So I don't want to cut it too soon here because it could easily roll back over, but it's turned a really, really profitable trade into I don't even know where I'm at now. That is the deal with 0 DTEs though. Russell going through previous day high. Watching Qs for my cut. All right, I'm going to cut. All right, I still may re-enter if it goes back down because this is right the area where it rejected. So I hate to cut it here, but from a risk management standpoint, I have to. Tesla about to go through highs. Definitely seeing some strength come in. Chips. Crypto's staying strong. Banks. Actually, the bank's dipping a little bit. All right, yeah, Nasdaq's kind of dipping back down. Let's see what it does. Hood, Circle, Coin, and MSTR all just below highs of day. SPY trying that previous day low again. Pretty choppy overall. If SPY can get above that pre-market low and hold, start to have more of a little bit of a bullish bias.
Order cancelled. Order partially filled. Order filled.
Tezzy, little rejection at highs of day. Google holding above previous day high. Meta still just kind of chopping under highs of day. Apple pushing back down. Yeah, Nasdaq rejecting right at that same place where it did the two other times. See what it does here. See if I can get a re-entry. PLTR gave it all up back in the red. Tesla's all over the place. I'm going to load up some SPY calls. I'll do the 755s. If we can, if it's going to push and hold above that previous day low at some point, just having them ready. And then I still have my Q puts loaded. Tesley's still coming down. Microsoft coming down to lows. Google staying strong. Meta staying strong. Big bank staying strong. S&P or AMD and MU's bounce. Still up, but kind of pausing. Same with SMH.
Order
Right, so
partially
S&P
filled.
new highs, Russell new highs.
Order filled. Order filled.
Google had a nice reclaim of that previous day high. See if I can get a pullback in SPY for some calls. I don't see any individual stocks that I like better. TEM and HIMS are strong. Reddit's strong. S&P about to go green. All right, bounce continues. Chip's still bouncing. Meta new pop through highs. Yeah, VIX all downhill. S&DK big bounce, almost back up to highs. Big bounce in SMH. Arm bouncing, SMCI back up through highs. Google and Meta still going through highs. Apple about to go through lows. Microsoft weak. Tesla just choppy. Netflix super choppy. IWM still going through highs. We can get a little bit more of a pullback in SPY. I would consider calls. PLTR falling through previous day low. Nice chip bounce. Good looking chip bounce so far. SPY, a little pullback, trying to go green. A little bit of a pause in Meta and Google, but still under highs. I'm going to take some SPY calls here. 0 DTE 755s. Filled at 63. Smaller position. We'll see if I may add. But coming back down to that previous high of day, right near previous day low. Need SPY to hold here and put in a new high. Chips, a little pause in the bounce. I have an order to take off some in SPY at 83 cents, which is right below highs of day. There's a little bounce. S&DK, decent rejection at highs of day. SMH still trying to bounce. AMD still bouncing. MU still bouncing. Meta, a little rejection. SPY back down to that previous day low, right near my entry. S&P dip back to that level, trying to bounce again. Russell back up to highs. Chip still bouncing. PLTR trying to bounce back above previous day low. Crypto's starting to roll over. Bitcoin as well. Nvidia still bouncing. Coinbase back in the red. Circle rolling over. Hood rolling over. Big banks, a little bit of a pullback. So cryptos and financials early. Chips weak. Now chips bouncing, financials coming down. SPY still holding, just can't get any momentum to the upside on these bounces, retesting again. S&P trying to bounce again. That Q's trade I took, by the way, ended up red. I was up big, but that bounce kind of ripped my face off, and then I did a little add and pushed up, so ended up being a red trade. All right, SPY getting close. Profit target's at 83. Watson, why didn't you do an earnings trade bearish on AVGO? Come on, SPY. Need a new high, SPY. IWM coming down. Tesla coming down. NVIDIA still bouncing. NVIDIA is close to going green. Meta is popping back up. Google still at highs. PLTR back in the green. AVGO starting to bounce. I just need about a 13% bounce. 10% bounce in ABGO by Friday. Could happen. These chips move 10% in a day. AMD and MU starting to dip again. Looks like I just got a notification on Schwab. Looks like the pattern day trade rule will go into effect. I thought it was today, but it said June 7th in extended hours. Let me see. Disappeared before I could read it. SEC and FINRA have approved changes to the pattern day trade rule starting Sunday, June 7th. During extended hour session, Schwab will no longer count day trades on margin accounts or flag pattern day trade accounts. If your account was previously flagged as a PDT account with under 25K, the PDT status will be removed and any PDT-related trading restriction will also be removed. You will now be able to day trade if you have the available stock buying power. There you go. All right, SPY about to hit again. Come on, SPY. Come on, SPY. Nope, didn't fill. Definitely could have been playing a little bit of scalping here on these dips and bounces, but chip's starting to bounce back up a little bit. Russell pulling back to previous day high. And SPY back down. Just missing my PT by a couple cents, a couple different times. All right, I'm going to have to potentially cut SPY if it doesn't pop back up. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap the stream. I was going to try to see if we could get anything going here on this, but I will finish off this trade in the trading channel. If we break below the previous day low, I will be cutting. If we extend higher, I will be scaling. So that is the plan. I've got my profit target still at 83 cents on to scale my first tranche. Basically right where I got in currently. So we will see how that plays out. All right, all. Have a good day. We'll see you in Power Hour.